Unlike the acute incidents we've just witnessed, hearing loss occurs gradually, over time. You may not detect it until it is too late. If we could only go back, unfortunately, we cannot go back, but you can make a difference right now. Don't wait. Noise-induced hearing loss is 100% preventable, but once it occurs, the effects are irreversible. Through the choices you make, you decide, what do you want to hear? In this program, Hearing Conservation, we will discuss the effects of noise on your hearing, how the ear works, and the purpose of a hearing conservation program, including the proper use, care, and storage of personal hearing protection. We use our ability to hear every day. The sounds we listen to provide a connection to the world around us. On any given day, we experience a wide array of sounds ranging from pleasant to annoying. On the job, our hearing allows us to recognize warnings and communicate with our coworkers. However, the work environment can also pose a potential hazard to our hearing. An employee may be exposed to work-related noise 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for a 40-year career. Besides hearing loss, excessive noise can lead to reduced productivity and increased stress. To fully understand the effect excessive noise can have on our hearing, it is important to first know how the ear works. When a sound is generated, vibrations or sound waves are sent speeding through the air. These sound waves are then funneled into the auditory canal, where they reach the eardrum. The waves cause the eardrum to vibrate, which in turn moves 3 tiny bones known as the hammer, anvil, and stirrup. The stirrup passes the vibrations into a coiled tube called the cochlea. The fluid-filled cochlea contains thousands of hair-like nerve endings. When the fluid in the cochlea vibrates, the nerve endings change the vibrations into messages sent to the brain. When unprotected ears are exposed to hazardous levels of noise, the nerve endings inside the cochlea become temporarily damaged, which may result in a condition known as tinnitus. Tinnitus is an annoying condition which is like having a constant whistling or ringing inside your ears, so even sleep can become difficult. Other symptoms could include muffled sounds, difficulty understanding speech, and difficulty hearing conversations when background noise is present. The extent of the damage depends on the intensity and duration of the noise. If hazardous exposure continues, eventually the nerve endings will not be able to recover. This type of impairment to the inner ear is known as sensory neural hearing loss and is permanent. Sensory neural hearing loss causes high-frequency sounds to become muffled. To fully understand its effects, let's listen to what can happen if unprotected ears are exposed to dangerous noise levels. First, normal hearing.
Dan.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to pull all the parts for the Johnson arm?
Doing it right now, but I'm still looking for a couple of these handbangers.
I think I saw a couple in the aisle over.
Now, minor hearing loss.
Dan.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to pull all the parts for the Johnson arm?
Doing it right now, but I'm still looking for a couple of these handbangers.
I think I saw a couple in the aisle over.
Now, moderate hearing loss.
Dan.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to pull all the parts for the Johnson arm?
Doing it right now, but I'm still looking for a couple of these handbangers.
I think I saw a couple in aisle over.
As you can hear, even a small amount of damage can have a dramatic effect on your ability to discern sounds. But what are considered dangerous levels? Any noise greater than 85 decibels, averaged over an 8-hour period, is considered hazardous. Many operations, such as grinding, stamping, and other tasks, which require heavy machinery, are all above the permissible exposure level. Also, the risk for hearing loss does not end when you clock out at the end of the day. Many off-the-job activities and events can also have adverse effects on our ability to hear. Certain types of sound that are the same decibel level may have different effects on our hearing. For example, a grinder and stamping machine have similar decibel levels, but the grinder is a greater hazard due to an aspect of sound known as frequency. Higher frequency sounds are of the most concern because they cause the most damage to the nerve endings inside the cochlea. As mentioned earlier, sound is a series of vibrations that ripple through the air. Each up and down movement of one sound wave is considered a cycle. Each sound is measured by the frequency of cycles per second, called hertz. For example, a tuba registers at 75 hertz. A flute, 2,000 hertz. An undamaged human ear can detect sounds anywhere from 20 to 20,000 hertz. The purpose of the Hearing Conservation Program at your site is to prevent noise-induced hearing loss. The elements of this program include audiometric evaluations, worker education and training, and the use of engineering controls, as well as personal hearing protection. As part of your job, you may be required to have an audiometric evaluation. The purpose of this test is to check your responses to tones of various frequencies in both ears. Your first audiometric test is called the baseline. Future tests, when compared to the baseline, will determine if noise-induced hearing loss is being prevented. If a shift of an average of 10 decibels or more occurs in your hearing at 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 hertz, further testing may be required to determine if the results are temporary or permanent. One warning sign that a shift may have occurred is a constant ringing in the ear mentioned earlier called tinnitus. Another is muffled sounds or difficulty understanding speech. Respect the warning signs. If you have not received an audiometric evaluation, talk to your supervisor or safety specialist. As a rule of thumb, if you have to raise your voice to be heard by someone less than 2 feet away, hearing protection is required. When dealing with hazardous noise, the best defense is to eliminate the hazard. For example, find an alternate means of doing the job, or maintain a safe and proper distance from the noise source. When this is not feasible, reducing the noise to a safe level through the use of engineering controls is necessary. Engineering controls reduce the noise levels of machinery in a number of different ways. Mufflers on tools, such as grinders, equipment enclosures, or the use of sound-absorbing material can all reduce the effects of high levels of noise. It is important to know where these engineering controls exist at your facility and how they work. If engineering controls are not feasible or applicable, the use of personal hearing protection such as earplugs or earmuffs will be required to reduce noise levels. Earplugs are the most common type of hearing protection found in the workplace. They can be made of foam or pre-molded plastic. They work by forming a seal inside the ear canal to prevent high levels of noise from reaching the cochlea. Before inserting plugs, make sure your hands are clean and dry to prevent any infectious material from entering the ear. When using foam plugs, use your thumb and forefinger to roll them into small crease-free cylinders. With the other hand, pull the ear outward and upward to open the auditory canal. Insert the plug into your ear and hold in place for at least 10 seconds. This will give the plug time to expand and form a tight seal in the ear canal. The seal must be tight to be effective. Don't worry about pushing the plug too deep into the ear. Plugs are too short to cause any damage to the eardrum. If the plugs you are wearing are reusable, Make sure they are properly cleaned and stored after each use. If they show signs of wear, replace them immediately. All earplugs are given a noise reduction rating by the manufacturer. Make sure the plugs you are using effectively reduce the decibels to the permissible exposure level. If you have any questions regarding the proper use of earplugs, talk to your supervisor or safety specialist. Unlike plugs, earmuffs cover the entire ear. Before using earmuffs, inspect the inner linings for cracks, tears, or other signs of wear that may reduce their effectiveness. Center the earmuffs so equal pressure is distributed around the ear and the seal is tight. Because the seal of the earmuff is around the outside of the ear, anything that comes between the ear and the muff can reduce their effectiveness. Safety glasses, long hair, and certain hats can all cause an improper seal. Again, if you have any questions, check with your supervisor or safety specialist. A common myth associated with personal hearing protection is that you will not be able to hear coworkers or warning signals when plugs or muffs are worn. The truth is, exactly the opposite occurs. In high noise areas, filtering out what you want to hear from what you don't is easier because there is less distortion when hearing protection is in place. Properly used hearing protection will allow you to hear your machinery, coworkers, and warning signals more effectively. When the use of personal hearing protection is necessary, choose a device that is both comfortable and provides the proper protection. There will be a period of adjustment. Often your own voice seems amplified when using plugs or muffs. While this may seem annoying at first, remember that earplugs are much easier to get used to than hearing aids. Every day, millions of workers are exposed to noise levels that are potentially hazardous to their hearing. Since symptoms of exposure are not obvious, it is important you understand and respect the potential hazards. Hearing loss is a serious and permanent handicap which lowers the quality of life. When a proper hearing conservation program is followed, some startling results can occur. Studies have indicated that employees who are properly protected generally feel better, have more energy, and a more positive attitude. The facts speak for themselves. Understand and utilize the hearing conservation program at your facility. Know where dangerous noise levels exist, both on and off the job, and know how and when to wear the proper personal protective equipment. You can't turn back the clock when it comes to your ability to hear, but you can protect your hearing now. Through the choices you make, you can protect your hearing, and the benefits will last a lifetime.